So, hello everyone. Uh, just wanted to talk about this. I wanted to go live and just really, um, really deep dive on this. So, for those of y'all who didn't know, Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball, you know, so many works. He passed away on March 1st, and I just wanted to. I apologize ahead of time if I get choked up because grew up big fan of Dragon Ball, big fan of Akira Toriyama's works. Um, not only Dragon Ball, but the things he's done in other works. If you guys are familiar with the Dream Team of Yuji Horii, Hironobu Sakaguchi, and Akira Toriyama coming together to do Chrono Trigger, something that at the time, that type of team was unheard of. If you guys are familiar with Yuji Horii, creator of Dragon Quest, one of the biggest RPGs in the world, universally loved in Japan. Um, Anytime a new Dragon Quest comes out, it's called Dragon Quest Day. And Hironobu Sakaguchi-san, the creator of Final Fantasy, and then Akira Toriyama came together, created this magic. But I really want to talk about what Akira Toriyama's work means to me personally. Someone who grew up in the 90s and someone who, back then, and I understand a lot of young kids probably don't understand because, context and timing and how different things are now, where, anime, manga, video games, comics, nerd culture in general, um, all of that now is, it's the norm. It's mainstream. It's everywhere. But for the young people who, say you were born in the late 90s or you're born in somewhere within the 2000s and growing up in the 90s, hell, even the 80s, it was not cool. You were picked on, you were ridiculed, you were mocked for liking video games, for liking anime and manga, for, you know, being into it. Cosplay is a huge thing now. That almost didn't exist back then. And, you know, the one series that just it impacted generations of people. It made anime cool. It not single handedly, but it played a massive part in it. You think about the big three, right? One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball, right? But Dragon Ball has something over all the others because that's been going for 4 decades. Like, imagine that. Somebody, like, can you imagine being someone that has created some work that, sorry about the noise, it's noisy here in Waikiki, but like his work literally defined 4 generations going on five, like 4 decades going on 5 decades. And it's just, like, if you were a kid back then and you had to deal with being picked on and ridiculed, like, you had solace and stuff, like a Dragon Ball. I know I'm missing my Goku statue that's supposed to slot here. It's somewhere in storage, but you know, you grew up watching, wanting to get stronger, wanting to train. You know, there was a whole meme for a long while of training to go Super Saiyan, or train to be Goku. Like you really, and it was a thing. Like every week, you came home from school and you just wanted to just see what happens next. And before it became popular, I remember when Dragon Ball, initially we just got Z, and if you wanted to watch Dragon Ball, you had to go, find VHS copies. And a lot of young folks probably are like, VHS, what's that? Videotapes. But you had to watch from, when Raditz arrived all the way to the Namek arc, and it would loop again, and it would keep looping and looping and looping and looping. And then when it finally started catching on, I think, Toonami, you tuned in. It was that. It was Gundam. It was One Piece. It was Naruto. It was Bleach. It was Rurouni Kenshin. It was Full Metal Alchemist. Like, this stuff is it's so impactful. And I don't even know if I'm making sense right now because I'm very highly emotional because this is hitting hard. And the reason this is hitting hard is because this is a second mangaka or a manga creator, manga writer whose work has deeply impacted me. You know, year and a half ago we lost Kentaro Miura, creator of Berserk, one of the most influential dark high fantasy pieces of work. Every time you see a character in the game, an anime, a TV show that has a big ass giant sword, or hell, if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, right? Final Fantasy 7, you see someone like Cloud with the Buster Sword. Where do you think that came from? That came from Kentaro Miura and his creation of Berserk, his creation of the Dragon Slayer, of Guts. This fucking hits so hard. I, we need to, like, I don't know, like mobilize and start like a hashtag, like hashtag thank you Toriyama, because of how impactful it was. Like watching, I know people make fun of it, now it's like, oh, there's not much plot to Dragon Ball. It's just guys, super muscular guys getting more powerful and going to the next stage. But if you really stop and think about that, you really stop and think about it, um, that's life. We have to keep training. We have to keep pushing ourselves to get better and better and better, because the next thing that comes is going to be stronger. It's going to be faster. It's going to be deadlier than before. Whether that's life, whether that's work, whether that's, trying to overcome plateaus at a gym, whatever that may be, that's life. We have to keep pushing ourselves. We have to keep going beyond. And whether you're into anime or you're into manga or not, it is undeniable. This man's work. What was it? The Macy's Parade? They had Goku? It's just, it's crazy. Exactly. Game Check. Dragon Ball is a metaphor. It's a metaphor of life. Of how people, like, you look at the parallel of Goku and Vegeta, right? Enemies to frenemies to best friends to, all the time being rivals, pushing each other. That is real. That's real. That's real shit. That's real. And maybe even if it's you think the names and the vegetable and the food puns and all the other stuff is just whatever you think about that. Toriyama was such a genius with his writing, the messages he got through with his work. And I know I'm not qualified to really eloquently speak on this. I That's why I leave a lot of that stuff to my bro Geekdom 101. Like he he knows how to talk about this in the most eloquent way, and I know I can't, but it's just heavy, man. Like, yeah, Akira gave us so much. We never forget it is amazing. It never will. This man has created something that will last for generations. And think about that. I mean, honestly, think about that. Can you think about like how phenomenal it is to make something that you may not even think you may think, hey, I'm just hitting a demographic of where I'm at, or I'm just doing this. But to make something that literally is so transformative and impactful the world over, that is something I feel like we have to, on an individual level, regardless of race, creed, all that stuff, on a fundamental level, we should strive for something like that, to make something that will impact people, you know. And that too, Amy, yo, in his latest work, Sandlands is coming out. Man, I don't know. Like I don't know. Um I don't even know how to process. Like I struggle with processing Kentaro Miura's passing. And now this. And I'll be honest, I'm also worried about Togashi-san, the creator of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, because he's been having health issues for the last decade. And going deeper into this, I just want to say, like, as someone right now who is in their mid 30s, going into their late 30s, and seeing so many people pass away at 30s, 40s, 50s, it's terrifying. And it really hits home how limited amount of time we have on this planet. We don't, tomorrow is literally never guaranteed. And it's just like, I've been having a lot of existential um, thoughts lately, and they terrify me because I think about what happens when I die. Like, is it going to be painful? Is it going to be in my sleep? Is it going to be like, what is going to happen? And then the reality of ceasing to exist, and like how that impacts people around you. Are people around you going to be okay? What is next? Right? When we pass away, it terrifies me. And the closer I'm getting to 40, the closer that I'm getting to, you know, middle age, and seeing so many people dying younger and younger and younger, it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard for me to understand and cope with that. And it's, I don't know, maybe that's just me. I don't know if anyone else has existential thoughts like that. But, I just want to say, 'cause I know I'm kind of all over the place, and look, I'm emotional. I trying to put on, the YouTube face and crazy stuff. Like I can't do it right now. Um and I was just about to dive right back into Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And can y'all believe that game has been running for like over 10 years now? I was about to dive back into that. Um I mean, I think about it a lot. I think about, you know, just life. I think more so now than ever as I'm getting older, I'm just thinking about life and just meaning and how can I leave my mark on this planet? How can I leave a legacy to let people know that I existed? How do I do something that will make sure I'm not forgotten by time? You think about it when you go down this existential thought process and you think about the people that have come and gone. However, like this planet is what, billions of years old. How many people have lived and died and have been forgotten by time? That terrifies me. And it makes me want to do something that people will remember me for. My kids, my family, the world. I want to be remembered. And then I look at stuff and I look at the reality of Toriyama-san's work and the fact that it has lasted going on 5 decades. That that man will never be forgotten by history, by time. And that is something I would love to aspire to. Exactly, Amy. We literally are here for a teardrop in the ocean. It's not many people can say that they've done something that's impacted people the world over, that has literally impacted cultures the world over. Everybody knows who Goku is. Everybody knows who Vegeta is, Piccolo, Krillin, Tien Shinhan, you know, Chaozu, Yamcha, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Bulma, Master Roshi, Mr. Popo, if you want to go down the more, controversial routes. Even if you're not people know what a Super Saiyan is. That is how big this is. This is, and I don't know if other people would agree. You don't have to, but I feel us losing, and I'm saying us collectively, humanity as a whole, losing Toriyama, losing Kentaro Miura is as big as losing Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. You know, it's heavy. Um, I cried a lot early. I was talking to Game Check to Amy earlier, and I was, this shit hit. This hit, and it just started me on the spiraling on existential thoughts. It's heavy. It's really heavy. But the only thing I can say is aside from thanking Toriyama for his work and, you know, how it impacted me personally as a kid growing up, I grew up poor. I grew up really with no friends, and no role models. And Akira Toriyama's work, with Goku, the never give up attitude, always wanting to get better. That was something I didn't have someone in real life pushing me, telling me that I need to push myself and I need to, keep training, keep never give up, never die. I need to just keep going. And, no matter how fucking difficult this shit looks in life, I gotta keep, if I work hard enough, I can overcome it. And I got to see that and be inspired by that from Toriyama-san's work with Dragon Ball and other things. And you know, yeah, being ridiculed, being mocked, being made fun of for liking anime and games and manga back then didn't fucking matter when you had that that kept you fucking going. That was so powerful. Like you want to scream at the top of your lungs and either activate Kaioken, you know, or turn Super Saiyan, or you just want to keep going beyond. And I don't know. I don't know where I personally would be um without Akira Toriyama's work with Dragon Ball and without Kentaro Miura's work with Berserk. Uh I'm telling you, especially y'all, the young folks, man, y'all young kids, y'all just don't know. Y'all got it so good now, being able to grow up in an era where nerd culture and all this is okay. You're not ridiculed for it, and if you are, the people that ridicule you, we mock them for mocking us. But back then, it just wasn't like that, and we had to have stuff that just kept us going. You had to have, because a lot of us really, for those of y'all who had the parents and the role models and all that stuff, I'm happy for you. A lot of us didn't have that. Like me, I come from a broken family. I didn't really have close relationships with my family. I didn't have role models. I didn't have people cheering me on. I had people, I, and to this day, I still have people that tell me how pathetic and useless and worthless and how I can't do shit and I ain't gonna ever do shit. And imagine being a 6 or 7 year old kid or younger in the 90s and just being weird and different, and you just didn't have that support, that friendship, and you had to go and find that. However, you get it how you get it. And I had to get that through Dragon Ball. You know, I had to find a role model in Goku, a role model in Vegeta, as messed up as he is or was. But one to constantly just better yourself. You know, that and probably somebody's probably out there mocking me for crying right now. Like, oh, this grown man's crying over a fucking anime character. Yeah, I am. I'm crying over the work of a great man. So I just I want to leave y'all with this. Thank y'all. Thank you, Toriyama. Thank you, Toriyama, for everything. And uh, if there's something you want to do in life, do it. Pursue it. Um, because we don't know how long we got left to live. Many of y'all know I had my battle with cancer, right? I fucking relapsed. And hell, I don't know how long I got. So yeah. Um make the most out of the time you got on this planet. Make the memories, create and do whatever it is you want to do. And fuck what anyone else says. If they try to say you can't do something, you ain't gonna be nothing. You're not gonna do this. Just keep going. Because, again, you don't know how long you got. And you don't want to die with what ifs. Do as much as you can. Fuck fear. Fuck the haters. History don't remember the haters. History don't remember the naysayers. Leave your mark on this world, in this life, and don't give up. Don't give up. Pursue your dreams, and just keep going until that day happens. And if we're all lucky, we will have people that the world over will miss us for not being here anymore and will be impacted in the way that Toriyama-san's work impacted each and every one of us the world over. So yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Thank y'all for coming through. I know this wasn't scripted. I know I didn't I'm all over the place. I'm a bit of a mess, but I, Toriyama-san passing, that feels like a family member passing away, someone I love. You know, that's how much this shit hurt. That's how much it hurt when Kentaro Miura passed away. That's how much it hurt when Stan Lee passed. You know, but yeah, thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all. See y'all on the next one. Stay safe. Be blessed. Have aloha. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all.